Okay, it is 6 o'clock. My name is Patty Richards. I'm the Vice Chair of the Underhill Selectboard, and we are convening the regular meeting of September 11, 2025. Our first item on the agenda is to ask for any adjustments or changes to the agenda. Are there any?
None for me.
Hearing none. Do we have to make a motion to approve the agenda?
You can.
Do we have to?
No, we usually do.
So you just say, we'll accept the agenda as
We'll accept the agenda
presented.
as submitted in our packets. Next on our agenda is opening public comment. Do we have any opening public comment from those in the room? Okay. Anybody virtually?
No.
Okay, public comment is closed. Next, we're going to move to Underhill Town Cemetery update, future goals. Kurt and Susan.
All right.
Up. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
For hello again. Giving us your time.
Yes, indeed. Our goal tonight is to give you an update to the report that Bob read into, I think, two select board meetings ago, and then to talk about what we perceive our role as being going into the future, and then asking you questions about what the board is willing to accept responsibility for also going into the future. So just to get it on the record, Sue has been keeping track of the man hours of site work, and to date we have 310 volunteer man hours.
That's great. Which is fantastic.
It is.
Yes.
In addition to 30 hours approximately by Ralph of research, Ralph Hyland, Hylind, here regarding records of the right-of-way and establishment of the other part of the cemetery and so on. And also, since that time, Sue and I went to the state archives to try to find some death records, especially for vets, since that's the easiest thing to do. And we did that about 2 weeks ago, and that was another 4 hours. And then yesterday, Sue and I drove up to the Historical Museum in St. Albans. Was it yesterday? It was Wednesday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Because they have a collection of cemetery records of the McClellan family, Charles, and her name is H.U. something. Anyway, and they were tracking his family, and so it was mostly in the Champlain Valley, and there are a number of notebooks up there, and we didn't find any Underhill records. So we were hoping that they would go and come up here. They drew headstones and wrote epitaphs and made records of all those things.
Wow.
And then the other thing we wanted to tell you that happened, we went up there one Thursday or Friday afternoon, and there was one burial site that had a piece of what looked like a cement block on top of it. And it was right near the gate to the Williamsons' property. So while I was doing some other stuff, cleaning some stones that had recently been repaired, Sue and a friend and our grandson Oliver excavated this site and discovered that it was Addie Blaisdell's burial site. She died in 1918 at the age of 9. And her folks the next year sold their property to the Walkers, who live on Sand Hill Road, and moved back to Cambridge, both of whom are buried in the Waterville Cemetery. And I just give you that information because there's much more to discover there. And
very interesting.
So Diane from Boca had probed and thought there was something there under the ground, and it was about 6 inches down.
Oh, wow.
And it was just really fascinating thing to do. And
Yeah.
so and we think there might be other such grave sites that could use some program.
Yeah, like we discovered bases with no stones. So we think that the stones might be submerged over time.
Could be.
Yeah.
Right. So that leads us to the second item under points for discussion, which the expected continued volunteer work organized by our group. And that's.
Okay, so just a little background that the two groups that were instrumental in getting all of this work done are the MMU students and the Hannaford Pipe and Drum group. Both of them have expressed interest in continuing with work for next summer. So we sort of envision doing a repeat, maybe not quite as intensely because there's so much that did get done this summer, but there still is more to do. So we kind of have it in mind to have the kids, the MMU kids come up in the spring like they did and do general cleanup, whatever's on the list, whatever the priority is. And then the pipe and drum want to come back and do more stonework whenever they can fit it in their schedule. So we'd like to put that on the agenda for next year, or, you know, for volunteer organization for next year. We would like to do that, to continue that, if the board is so willing to.
Are there more grant applications or grant opportunities, I should say,
So-
that we can take advantage of to fund that?
So the work that the volunteers, those two groups would do, the cost is minimal.
Okay.
Minimal. The expensive part would be any kind of tree removal that we had to hire out, and the fencing. I know that's sort of on the list, and stump grinding was another thing that was kind of on the list. The grant money will do the tree removal again, and yes, they will. We can apply again next year
Okay, great.
for another grant. We can do that. So.
And if we get a workday again with Boca,
Yeah.
they bring volunteers and materials. Like they provided the epoxy for the repair.
I
of
think
3 or 4
materials are
stones.
really an asset.
Right,
They supply virtually everything.
except for the
Well,
shirt.
the shirt pack. We had to pay for the shirt pack. But that's really very minimal considering how much got done.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're excited about doing it some more next year.
What I would recommend for purposes of planning for 2026 for the next fiscal year
Yes.
is submit a proposed budget to us.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
And then we can roll that into the whole budget. We can weave that into the whole budget process. We're looking at the greater budget in its totality, then we can figure out what impact that has.
Yep.
In addition to everything else that we're juggling. But
Sure.
That would be really a key data point.
Okay, all right. I can easily do that for the volunteer work. The non-volunteer work is what is sort of up to you guys to decide what the priority is.
And their topics
the
down
cost.
further.
You know, the tree removal, stump grinding, that kind of stuff. That's
And
not,
what we put in the budget from the fall would be available on July 1 next year.
yes,
Right.
okay, yeah, right. But how it gets spent is sort of, you know,
But we can get estimates for the tree stump grinding.
yeah, okay.
Estimates for any tree removal.
So are you asking us, I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Well,
kind
no,
of-
we can
Oh,
work
okay.
together and I
Okay.
can I know
Okay.
the right people to talk to.
Cheers.
Great, okay.
We can,
Okay, so we'll just submit our part, you know, with what the volunteer part.
So
would
think
be.
of it as your Christmas wish list.
Yeah,
And you send it to mom and dad. And then we're gonna talk about it to see if the family can afford it.
right, okay.
Seriously, that-
Yeah.
That's what we do. Circle all that.
Okay. And just to mention that the other part of the volunteer stuff that we're interested in doing is updating such things as find a grave and documenting the gravestones that are there, trying to read inscriptions that have perhaps been lost, that kind of thing. So we're actually going to do an inventory of the graves, compare it to Ed Moore's map, and make sure that we're you know, that we have every grave accounted for,
Mhm,
so to
mhm.
speak.
Yeah.
And then also as a side note, if work and what work needs to be done for any stones.
Yeah, right, yeah, there's still a lot to do.
Right, so
But-
think about that as you're planning it out, whether you have a 5-year plan.
Yep,
You know,
okay.
chunking it into what you think really can happen next year and then
Okay.
submit that budget. I mean,
Sure.
but thinking in your head, there's gonna be year 2, year 3, whatever.
Yep,
that
great.
longer term.
We can do that, that's
That'll
easy.
be, that'll be great. And then we can talk about it in the totality of all the other budget line
Budget
items we
items,
have
Mhm.
Yep,
and juggle it from there.
yep, absolutely,
Excellent.
happy to do that.
Okay.
So just for your information, we visited the schoolhouse with Scott Towers twice and are going to visit one more time before it gets too cold to be there. But they have a cemetery collection for the whole town. And I just found out from Susan Thomas that they have Ed Moore's computer, which he used with whatever software he developed, but other proprietary software to create the map and the supporting data. And so we just have to find the people who know how to operate his computer.
Yeah, that's me. So I'm gonna,
Okay.
so, yeah, I was gonna go down and just pull the hard drive out. I have a hard drive reader that I can plug in. I'll just pull the hard drive out. I know how he kept his files.
Oh, cool.
So what we're gonna benefit there is probably having a list of the, you know, the names and the births and the deaths.
And the
My
potential.
map showed every gravesite on there, and that's how he drew his map. So he tried to, you know, my map had little dots all over the place where the graves were, and then he tried to fit a grid to it
Right.
so you
Right,
could
right,
locate,
yeah.
right? So
Right.
it's not
Yeah,
completely accurate,
yeah,
but yeah, we
The other thing we've noticed, just from comparing his list, his alphabetical list taken from the map, is that there are some misspellings and there's some missing.
yeah.
Now, we don't know whether the misspellings are his or the carver of the stone, because the Whittons are spelled 2 different ways, or 3 different ways. It could be 3 different families, or it could be, you know, that kind of thing that we have to check on. And there's one other stone that we're gonna straighten and get out of the way. It has fallen down and moved probably 4 feet from where it originally was. And that would allow access from the river road without damaging a stone. When Nate brought his tractor up there with the 2 yards of sure pack, he ran over a stone. He didn't break it, but that's one thing we're going to try to get out of the way there. And that's Sarah's story. She's one of the earliest ones that were buried up there. And so the last item is something that we want to know whether we should put on our wish list, which, not the last total item, but the one in points for discussion. And that's number 3, the improvement of the right-of-way from Sand Hill Road, which right now is the only one we have paperwork for. All of the heavy use of the access to the cemetery was through the Williamson's property. And this is basically a walking path, but we've been using this to take our tools up since the Williamsons said that we were compacting their lawn and land, you know, after that big visit with the 30 folks. I approached via email the Boy Scouts to see if they would be interested in maybe promoting that as an Eagle project, and got no response. And I followed up with that 2 or 3 times. And so I think that that's not something they're going to be interested in, or we should not depend on them being interested in that. So therefore, we asked the question. It will cost some money to probably put some landscaping timbers in there to clear out some fallen timber, and maybe put some handrails, whether they be rope or something, along the way. And is that something that might interest you for us to put on our wish list, to make it a budgetary item?
I think access to the cemetery is a big deal, so I think that really does belong in the projection of budget estimates for the next year.
Okay.
That really benefits a lot of the residents in the town
Exactly.
who would like to see some of this great work that a lot of people are putting in. It is a historical place, and to have people benefit from that would be wonderful.
Right, and having a sign on Sand Hill or
Yeah.
River Road that shows, I think there's a lot of people who just don't know that it's there. There's no way to access it. You don't drive by and really see it. But I think having a delineated path and a sign there, that people know that it's open. It's a great idea, right? And how much that costs is hard to answer, but I think investigating that so that it can be part of a plan down the road whenever it is feasible to do so, I think makes sense.
Yeah.
And we have an easement for the trail, correct, Brad?
It's only 8 feet wide.
That's plenty.
It's plenty, and it's
Steep in some places.
Steep in some places, but we tried to lay it out the best we could.
Right.
Is there an easement from the other side as you,
From River Road.
from River Road?
Well,
That's
it would
there's like
appear
a
there's-
sort of
it
a
appears
path
there's
where it used to
something
be.
there,
Yeah.
but that's where we,
That's another item for discussion further down.
yeah.
Okay.
If you want to talk about that right now, we can.
So that's one that's not papered.
It's not paper.
We haven't,
We
if
can't
it is, we
find
haven't
it.
discovered it.
Okay.
And it definitely would be a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
The thought is to, when we decide that we've exhausted all the research that we can do, can we approach the landowner for a right of way?
Mm-hmm.
If you look under near-term items, item number 4.
Yep.
The committee, we had a meeting to discuss over what we would discuss with you. And the committee agreed that and recommended that a time limit of some kind, maybe decided by you, should be set to for the research to determine if that right of way exists. And the reason for that being is that we can't do any physical work in improving that right of way until we have one or we know we have.
Mm-hmm.
And so the time limit would be established so that if we don't find that information in a reasonable amount of time, then we can approach Scott Thomas and Dennis Williamson to establish a right of way. And Brad brought up the point that, well, if it already exists, then we're doubling our labor. But if we can't find it, then it really doesn't exist for us at this point. And that would be the only way to get vehicles up there to do the type of work
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do, or even, if we reopen the cemetery, if we determine that it's suitable to reopen it for new burials.
There are a couple stones that are going to need equipment to straighten. There's one massive one that just tipped over. There's not any amount of muscle could pick it up. You'd need equipment to do it. And so that's just an example of, why we would need
And it's the way the mowers get up there.
the mowers get up that way.
My suggestion would be, give it the winter, do some more research, winter. I've known projects that carry on for years, but I understand that you want to set some sort of time limit.
Right.
And I get that, but I would suggest giving it a good effort and maybe rethinking some approaches this winter would be my suggestion.
Rethinking approaches for the
Approaches
research
for
part?
how you're researching.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Right.
right. Yeah, we are not researchers.
With your help.
We don't know that.
Or with the town lawyer's help, who is pretty good. No?
I mean, we could ask them, but
Well,
Yeah.
people who do title searches are really good at that, right?
well, so when we get into old stuff like this, attorneys, like I've worked for not hundreds, but many, many attorneys to do the research. They get into stuff that's so old and so complicated that's where a surveyor comes in,
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we're expert
So-
researchers, and especially in cemeteries and old roads. And that's what we do.
So when you say rethink it. Do you have ideas or?
I do.
Oh, good, okay.
I do. You need to rethink your strategy all the time.
Yeah, well, that's so true.
Well, it's the way research is,
Yeah,
it's not, it's something you just can't rush. You might be out mowing the lawn one day and say, oh,
Yeah.
why don't I look at this?
Okay.
Right.
So,
Well, that's,
Okay. And so also, just having gone through the state's Title 18 VSA, I haven't studied it in depth, but there's also the possibility of claiming it for eminent domain. Established cemeteries can, at the request of town members, be expanded using that. And
Which is a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah,
we
I
have
know.
to
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna say that.
I know it's a dirty word for property
It's,
owners.
we want to be respectful.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
Especially the Williamsons that have given us access. And,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's a worst case scenario. So
absolutely.
that's obviously something in the set of cards potentially we can pull, but we need on the list. It might, at least for one select board
Mhm.
member.
I get that.
I would agree
Yeah.
with that, yeah.
Okay, sorry I brought that up.
No, that's okay.
All right, so we'll put that on our list.
Yeah.
Number 3. So near-term items, others, 1, 2, and 3, above that number 4. I haven't flipped the page yet. One thing that we think would be positively impactful on the care of the cemetery is to know what the contract with Allphase is, who do the mowing, and then decide how it needs to be revised for the expanded boundaries of the cemetery now, because they only have mowed up to the edge of where the fence was, and the fence sometimes is 4 feet in from what the actual boundaries are.
Mhm.
And so when we did our first volunteer day with the MMU kids, Brad was there for that, we pushed brush and branches and even trees back to
Mhm.
the established boundary. And we'd like Allphase to maintain that boundary,
Mhm.
that so that we don't have to go through a big process like we did last spring every couple of years. And then the other thing is to possibly increase the number of mowings. So, and also to direct them how to blow the leaves off of the cemetery, because they did a really nice job of clearing the leaves last year, but they piled all the leaves along one of the boundaries, obscured one of the graves, and so we just want them to blow the leaves the other way if they pick a day when the wind is blowing that way.
Mhm.
vacuum them up.
Or vacuum them up, right. And the other thing that they have not been careful about is hitting stones that are partially obscured. And their one name was mowed right off of one of the stones. And we know who it is, but nonetheless, the last name is gone. And so we've gone around and staked the stones that could possibly be run over if they were obscured by tall grass. But we want to at least have a conversation with them about that. And then there are other areas that we cleared that are actually in the cemetery. And even we whacked down that they didn't mow. And so we just want to be able to communicate with them, maybe renegotiate the contract or that part of the contract. I don't know if they have a bigger, if
So
that's like one
In
sub.
the Poker Hill Cemetery, we put the lawn mowing contract out to bid every year.
Yeah.
So I would suggest doing something like that,
Okay,
because at $500 a mowing,
right.
I think that's
Hmm.
quite expensive when we get the Poker Hill Cemetery mowed for less than 100. So
Oh, so that's what Allphase is charging for
that's what I see. I've seen 2 bills or 2 cycles in the warrants, and they've been $500 a whack.
Wow.
So can you work with Brad on
Yeah,
that component and
Mhm.
come up with a new plan to
Absolutely.
deal with,
Yeah.
deal with the
I
existing?
don't want to step on
void?
any toes because, they've been, Sherry and Jennifer handle the contracts with all phase and, but I think it's certainly something we should revisit.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Has it
they,
just been recurring? It's never gone out to bid?
No, they've just basically whoever gets the town contract usually does it and
Okay.
all phase has been doing it for as long as I've been here.
Okay.
So when it was a rundown cemetery, they're cutting corners, but now it's being, spruced up and maintained, so we want to do a more thorough job, so we can
Mhm.
revisit that.
that's right.
Part of the reason for the damage is, if the grass is like this, you can't see some of the stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, and just zoom, trying to get it done fast. And if there's nobody up there watching them, that would just continue no
Or at
matter.
least checking.
Yeah, checking it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to, before next season, think about, and maybe the beginning of the season, having whoever has the contract meet with you guys or someone from the committee to kind of talk through.
So that, it kind of points to another thing that, the governance thing. Meaning, okay, so, in number 5, establishment of the cemetery commission or some form of governance. Right now, basically, it's this group of volunteers and Brad, who's very interested in that historical aspect of it, approaching you to ask you if we can do certain things and if you want those certain things done. So I guess it's basically two sides of the same coin, the coin being taking care of the cemetery. And do you want the board to be the governing body and take responsibility for everything that happens up there and have the volunteers come ask you about it, or you approach the volunteers about what you want done? Or would you consider the establishment of a cemetery commission, which the state allows for? And it's a elected position of either 3 or 5 members. And you bring up the thought of having a cemetery commission at a town meeting, and then you vote on whether you want the cemetery commission, and then you have a follow-up election to elect the commissioners. Or do you want to do the management and governance aspect the way it's been going, depending on interested people from the town, bringing tasks to you for your approval?
I guess I would have a question just in terms of like what our obligations as a town, or if we are, sounds like we're allowed to do it, but I want to make sure that there is not any creation of any conflict or a problem if the town is that we're allowed to cede this authority to another body to.
It's in
Oversee
statute for sure.
Okay.
And many towns have cemetery commissions. Basically, they're the legislative body of the cemetery.
And it would be just for the one cemetery, or would oversee?
There's only one cemetery that Underhill owns.
Yeah, the
That's
rest are private.
That's right,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, maybe another one on Butler Road, or not Butler Road, but Dean Road, perhaps.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, yeah, that's another discussion.
Well, actually, cemetery commissions can allow permission to cross private property to get to abandoned private cemeteries. It becomes their responsibility to deal with abandoned cemeteries,
Right.
according to statute anyway.
Yeah, as I understand it, the commission serves at the pleasure of the board. This takes up some of the workload off. The budget process, I don't believe, changes.
The
But
budget continues to go through the select
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
Yeah, then the commission would make
manage it.
requests or put in POs to the.
Brad, could you do a briefing for us as to what it would
Yeah,
take
I'm gonna just,
to create a cemetery commission?
yeah, and that's where the attorneys,
That way we can see,
that's where
like,
the attorneys could be. I'm not gonna,
Talk about
And no
liability.
yeah.
Go down. I want to know.
And Noki's a little, she's a,
I
can be a little
heard that
feisty.
Jennifer gave us the heads up.
Yeah.
Can be a
Yeah.
slasher.
Oh,
It allows
It's,
it to touch you, but not you to touch it.
you like me.
Yeah.
So just bringing it up as a
Yeah,
possibility.
it's a good question.
You've
Yeah,
got,
it's a
you know,
really
you've
good
got some
question.
interested people right now and
Yeah.
that's all good and, you know. but
That's one of the things I was thinking about is that the creating a commission sort of ensures the longevity
The
of the
longevity,
caretaking.
yeah.
And I think,
Yeah,
right, I think maybe it's like, you know, this next year, it seems like while things are kind of getting up and running, there's a lot more to do.
yeah,
That maybe it's like the following year, the creation of a commission to kind of ensure long-term
Yeah.
sustainability of this work, that it doesn't.
if there's a small group whose sole job is to watch the cemetery, it'll just get a little more attention.
Yeah, well, and the infrastructure will ensure that
Yeah.
it's not.
It's
doesn't,
ongoing.
you know, Right.
You know, in what we've found in Old Town reports is that interested individuals have come and gone,
Exactly.
like in 40 or 50-year increments.
Mhm.
And, you know, the last time that cemetery was dealt with with any depth was probably 2011 or something like that. I think that was the last time. Well, Scott passed away in 2011.
Mhm.
So Hannaford's was doing a lot before
I mean,
that.
Scott mowed it.
Right,
He did everything.
right.
Right.
He repaired stones. He did lots of stuff. And so that was one interested person. And then the world got in the way after Scott left us. And so we want to try for continuity, as you were just talking
Mhm.
about. Sue and I aren't getting any younger.
It would be very good to find out how other towns incorporate their commissions.
Yeah.
And we can probably do that by exploring some town reports.
Yeah.
Right.
I also find the amount of information and research that you do and you inform us impressive and invaluable. And it would be hard to imagine as a select board
So,
being able to hone in on
Right,
the amount
yeah.
of
Mm.
knowledge that you've already acquired and that a commission would be useful for
Yeah,
that as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate your passion.
Yeah.
Thanks.
good.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thanks. I don't know where it came from. It just
Yeah.
kind of bubbled
Just-
up. How much time
Oh,
do we
okay,
have?
that's 2 more minutes.
Oh,
Well, we're actually behind, but
We're
that's okay.
actually, yeah, I know that. Article for the town report, would you want to have one? For the cemetery work?
Yes.
do you want,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
think
Do you want us to
that's
write it?
yes, yes, please.
Be pleased to write it. Okay.
that was easy.
You've done a great job of explaining different things and other times you've come here.
Yeah,
It's very clear.
yeah,
And I think that would be a good thing.
yeah,
Noting who was involved, how
Yeah.
many people were involved.
Yeah.
I think that's priceless.
yeah,
in a
Mhm.
report.
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Documentation is important and because when you can't find it, then you know how important it is, right?
There's a saying in public health, if you can't measure it, it didn't happen.
Oh, right.
But I feel like that is, being able to like have the records and reports are very helpful.
Okay, so the rest of the agenda is really just more long-term planning, thoughts that we wanted you to have in your heads, just to sort of think about. We do have an interest in finding out more about some of the unmarked graves and even some of the marked graves. And we do have an interest in doing a little bit better job with the markers for the veterans. Right now, it's kind of hit or miss, and I've seen some really nice ones out there. The thought was to maybe do some fundraising for the veterans. Is that out of the question? Is it to be considered? Would you prefer it to come out of the budget if we brought forth a proposal? I just see it as something that a fundraising would be successful. It's not a big ticket item, but I would hate to encroach on the budget for something like
I
that.
think fundraising would be a great way to drive interest as well.
Yeah.
And for folks to go up and see it.
Yeah.
So, oh, there's a cemetery there.
Yeah.
How do I get up there and go take a peek?
Yeah, okay. So if that's an approval, we'd like to move forward to
The rest of
to
the
do a
board,
little
Yeah,
investigation.
I don't foresee any problems with that or why that would be.
The
Okay.
sentiment of the board is.
Yeah,
consensus
Okay,
to
we'll
move
come up
forward.
with a plan and a budget for that too,
Okay.
and let's take a look at it before we do anything.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Super.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
We're about done.
yeah, we're out of time, so maybe we'll just come back another time and talk about the long-term stuff.
Well, we've got some stuff we can do here in the meantime.
Right, we got
Look
a lot.
into
I think
forming
this
the
is a great
commission and
start,
things like
Yeah,
that.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
more than a start.
Yeah.
Well, more than we ever imagined. And I just, again, the MMU kids and the Fife and Drum group were instrumental in getting it all done. They were-
And none of it would happen without your dedication. So the town is extremely lucky to have you guys
The,
stewarding this caretaking
Exactly.
project. So
Thanks.
thank you.
Pleased to do it.
yep, absolutely.
Very
All
good.
right.
Thank
Well
you.
done, thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good night. Yep.
Okay, next on our agenda is highway supervisor update.
No, I think we got
Did I miss something?
the draft language for the opening
Oh, I'm sorry,
statement.
review and discuss draft language for opening statement regarding remote participation.
We can make this quick, but you want me to just say a few things, Patty? or-
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
So I put a couple versions. I'd taken a stab at this, Bob. Bob had suggested that I prepare something. So draft one is the first thing I prepared. He made a few comments, and then I would suggest taking some of the things we like from the first. Patty agrees with me in the first draft. While there's no requirement to offer remote access to this meeting, the select board provides access.
I really like that paragraph to
Yes.
tee it up.
Yep.
To introduce the subject.
And then I think the, also explaining that there's two opportunities to speak is good. And then in the second version, if you go for the third paragraph, I really like that one. I took that from an excerpt from VLCT.
I agree. I think that one is very helpful to,
Yeah.
reasonable accommodations when possible.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right, and then, that kind of explains the technical difficulty part of it. And then I think, making people aware that they can submit their comments in writing ahead of time. And then I do like the thing about the chat tool, because Bob brought that up. It's like, is that part of the minutes or is it? And it's not really. And I think that statement, as with regular meetings, the body's actions will be based on their verbal actions and discussions, and not side chat in the chat box. So I like that.
Are we able to disable the chat box?
No, because it's a way of communicating sometimes. It's like, and we don't ever have a problem. Many other towns, Shelburne, it's a nightmare. And Russ watches these TVs, watches meetings all the time, different towns, in his spare time. So I think we
What show
have
are you watching today?
minimal issues. So I did purchase a voice recorder here. So and I think in the event that we somehow lose our internet connection, it carries on, so we're only required to record our meetings. And historically, Dan will remember, Mount Mansfield TV used to come here and set up, right, with their camera. We never had this. They'd set up their camera, they'd record the meeting, they'd put it online, we'd get CDs of the various meetings. So I think if you'll allow me, I'll take the best of the two, I think, and come up with.
Is the intent to read this before each meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so shorter and
Shorter.
succinct
It'd be better.
is going to be key here. So we might have wish lists to add more things, but short and sweet.
Yeah. Okay,
Only what's necessary.
that's right.
Yeah.
Fewer
Exactly.
words, the better.
Right, I think,
When
right,
it's
like
in
the,
place, maybe we need to take turns reading it at the start of the meeting.
But it looks long, but it's really not after you
Yeah.
read it. It's
Yeah.
really
right,
not
like that first paragraph, I think could be like one sentence, like,
Yes.
when the two different times are, it's
Yeah.
just, right, that there's,
Yeah,
I think
I could trim it down.
Okay, all right, so you'll come back with a new and improved.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, done with that item. Now we move to highway supervisor.
You know, I'm just thinking before we move on, sorry. Is this the kind of thing where like it could just be posted on the agenda?
It
rather
could be
than read
posted
every
on the
meeting,
agenda, but
or do you think?
it could be, it could preface each agenda or each packet.
I'm not opposed to reading it, I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud, if that
The
makes sense.
thing is, if someone sees the agenda like posted, at the store
Mhm.
and says, oh, I'd like to, I want to tune in for that, then they'd have no idea about this. But we do have, you've got a section on our website, Selectboard,
Yeah,
and I have the rules of procedure there, a conflict of interest, I can place that there.
Maybe for a little while we read it,
Yeah.
yes,
Then-
it's true.
when we're tired of hearing it 20,000 times, then we'll be like, let's kick that to.
Or if you start a meeting like this, maybe just, feel out the room, if no one's here and we have no one online,
Mhm.
is it necessary to read it?
Good
That's a
point.
good point.
Fair enough.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
You know,
Mhm.
let's do this.
Yep.
Don't make
There
me
it is.
have to sign.
And maybe I'll reach out to Aaron and Galicki and see what some other towns do at the beginning of their meeting, so.
Okay,
That sounds good.
excellent, thank you.
And just like that, we're back on time.
Very
Just
good.
like that.
Nice, magic. Okay, Russ.
Okay, so only thing I have this week is to report on our last 2 weeks of work, which once again, we produced a great deal of work. First of last week was a short week with the Labor Day holiday, and we were down one guy for the week. Scott was out with the loss of his brother, so
Very sorry to hear
Yes.
that news.
family.
Please extend our well wishes to him.
I will. But he's back. He came back on Tuesday, doing well. Good for him to get back, I think, and
It's tough.
Yeah.
but a good support team for everybody up there. Got him back on the grader on Tuesday. Did some grading on Mountain Road. We did the whole complete Mountain Road all the way up to the gate, so that'll be taken care of. Stevensville, on the upper end, get these hikers all taken care of. We did Harvey Road, Corbett Road, and Paul Cook. And next week we'll move to our two big roads, Poker Hill and Irish Settlement. Those will be.
I did notice Westford graded the Bill Cook and chlorided that in the
Again.
other day. They just did it.
Let's see, so we worked, Ken and I and Dwayne worked for both weeks up on Maple Leaf, doing the MRGP stormwater project up there. We finished that up today. Looks absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
I know Bob came up one day this week and checked on things. If you guys are ever out and about, that is a great place to go take a ride. It looks really, really nice.
Awesome.
So that's done. I'll get with Brad and we'll go over everything so we can get that submitted for our grant. Crack sealing was done this week and completed. Did have a talk with Kevin Slayton, who owns the company, this afternoon. He gave me a call. And as you know, for one, was pretty hesitant on the whole crack sealing, the way they were going to do it, but I think it came out good.
I want to give them, I came out by them on Range Road when they were doing Range Road from top to bottom. And they were incredibly efficient. And it really looks good on Range Road. I haven't, inspected it as closely, but since I lived there. And very courteous as I was driving by and very professional in what they were doing.
Their flaggers were very courteous.
Yeah, and they were very attentive.
Good.
It was very clear,
Mhm.
what they were doing and why they needed traffic to.
And Russ, you learned a little something about crack sealing with the weather, right?
Weather, the other company had done it during the summer months when it's been really warm, and warm months are not a good time to do crack sealing. It's the cooler days that are better to do crack sealing. I did actually go on, I'm on a Facebook page for Public Works, and I put a question out about crack sealing, and oh my God, I got like a lot of information. But that was some of
Join
it,
this group.
temperature, because the cracks will expand.
Yeah.
And then when they go back, then it kind of pushes it out. So in the way they put it's all the same material, whether they're using it in a truck or these carts, it's all the same material.
I think the carts were great.
It really, I have
They
to
were
say,
just,
I was very hesitant, but.
Well, the accuracy too, the
Oh,
way they
yeah,
followed
yeah,
the
they
crack.
were really paying attention to the detail.
So, I commended him and his crew today when I talked to them, and they did the job in 3.5 days.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
So the bid price and what we'll get invoiced is gonna be less than what they.
So
actually
win
did.
all around.
It's a win all
Great.
around.
Excellent.
And they're the same folks that'll be doing our,
Random paper.
random pavement repairs.
Oh, good.
That we're
Very
doing.
nice.
So that'll be next month.
Okay.
So,
I did notice I went, you go out through the valley, you know, and all the nice cracks, and then you get into Cambridge, and I'm not busting on Cambridge, but you get down by marshes there, and there's actually grass growing through the cracks. You know, it's like all grass. It looks kind of nice, but
our pressure washer had failed, stopped working. Basically did the same thing when the last one failed and they had to buy a new one. But before we did that, I did find a repair facility in St. Albans. So I brought it out to them a couple weeks ago, and they actually were able to fix it. So it's working now, works good. It stays working. Well, it's got some age on it, but we're able to get it fixed up. I just wanted to get that out there. Our loader had a tire repair done on it today by Marshall Tire, been leaking, and I don't know what that's going to cost, but that's a big tire to deal with. But had to be done. But they were very on it, so they came right out today. The new truck, best update I could get is still waiting for a dump body. That was the last thing I gave you last time, but I checked again today and still waiting for a body. I dig safe for the culvert on Butler Road. So that's our plan. Once we're doing a little more ditching and another culvert on Maple Leaf next week. Once that's done, we're going to move over to get that culvert taken care of on Butler Road. So that'll be done. And we'll get Wayne his material. And once I don't know how much we were doing, 3 loads. So
3 loads.
So we'll get that done at the same time. So that'll be done and out of the way. And then, well, the lines, I don't think the lines were painted on the valley the last meeting, but everything's paved or line striped, and
It looks really good.
Yes, it's like soup.
So in
See
the,
everything.
we did get the invoices included in there. And we did have them go a little bit extra to cover a driveway to the north, which made sense because that section was pretty rough. And then Russ had them back up a little bit on the south, I think, he said.
just a little bit.
And then we'd never accounted for the aprons, so we had a couple aprons. But anyway, the tonnage came in very close, really close. Everything was right in there. It was about 7% over what the bid was. So I've got pictures along the way, and as soon as you authorize the warrants tonight, I'll apply for the 200,000 reimbursement.
Great.
Okay.
Excellent.
So,
Awesome.
Great job done.
Yes.
yeah, it looks
Yes.
beautiful.
Fabulous.
Rides smooth.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice a lot of people speeding either. You know?
There's just one. There's one with a dog box.
Yeah. It's going really fast now.
Oh, it's great.
It really does look great. You guys did a really nice job.
Our crew in Wickham, they
Yeah.
really did a nice
Yeah.
job.
And Tyler was out there running
He's
the
great.
roller and reclaimer times, and he was,
I appreciate their work as well.
Yes, very much.
Yep.
Mhm.
Very good to have these kind of contractors working for us.
Yeah.
Weekends are driving my son home Saturday tonight. So.
So that's my report.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Great
for-
job to all.
Thank you for listening.
It's nice to have that information recorded, so keep coming. That's
Yeah.
Great. I like the
Well.
updates.
Me too.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on to 2026 employee health care planning.
So Jennifer had emailed Bob about and this is more just food for thought. She made some comments here regarding, just how much healthcare is going up. And, you know, and number 5 there, she goes, I just request the board begin to thinking about, you know, these items. So I think she's waiting for some numbers, and but this is just included in your packet for something that should be on an agenda when you get to that point. But if you have any questions for Jennifer, I'd reach out.
I would be interested in hearing what basically standard protocol is for other municipalities relative to employee contributions. And I really like the idea
She's
of
done that.
grandfathered.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
if we were to have employees contribute, grandfather in existing employees, and anybody new coming in would be on a new, basically a new approach of, you know, participating with some sort of payment.
I know she's done that in the past with many things, so I'm sure it could be updated, but.
Yeah, I had a similar question in the payment in lieu of insurance at a 36% rate, sort of whether that is still standard or typical for municipalities in terms of thinking that through too.
Yeah, we've been through, I think those those reports have been generated multiple times,
Got it.
but we can do
Yeah.
them again.
Yeah.
So I'll let her know that.
There's no answer that's going to involve medical care costs decreasing. So
No, unfortunately, it just keeps going up.
But I definitely also want to hear about employee contributions to health insurance, what other municipalities are moving toward.
Right, yeah, recently you're saying. Yeah,
Right, not
with the
not
increases.
10 years ago, but like with all these increases.
Yeah, what's happening?
Starting to share in the costs,
Right.
it's,
Well,
eventually
Lester
we're
reported
not
that to
gonna be
us.
able to avoid that, at least in my personal opinion, we won't be able to avoid it. But the way to do that and ease it in is existing employees get grandfathered, and then new folks coming in, you share that information, we're competitive with other municipalities.
Or if the costs are really too high, then we could do it graduated for existing employees by year, so it's a slow or increment to them having some contribution to.
It's always hard for existing employees to
Absolutely.
get a new contribution requirement, because it's like, oh, I wasn't there before.
Right.
Very
Feels like a
yeah.
pay cut.
And
Exactly.
it is,
Yeah.
and also,
Yeah.
it is happening everywhere. And it's important to take care of
Oh, yeah,
people,
no.
but also it's not like this isn't
the
happening
nature
for
of-
people who work in other places.
Exactly, it is the nature of healthcare.
unfortunately,
I think if you're
Which
gonna,
includes Underhill residents
Yes,
who approve the budget.
yes.
Sure.
I think you're gonna find that, you know, we have a generous program here and yeah, but Jennifer can research all that and see what other towns do.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Great, now let's move on to the next item, Mountain Road winter maintenance.
So, I updated this notice here a little bit.
From what's in the background.
Yeah, from what's in the packet. I think Maureen's got a copy and then a copy for you.
Oh, yes, I think this is the.
So,
Okay. Did you get one too?
I didn't.
so
Oh, sorry.
basically we decided we set the date for the examination and of the premises and the hearing. So those are set. Notification will go out to all abutting landowners, any lien holders, the current use program. Same scenario as with a discontinuance. The end remembers the Butler Road discontinuance is 709. Section 709 proceedings, the same thing. Planning Commission gets notice. I think I'll notify also the Underhill Jericho Fire Department. Anybody that has a stake in that road. And then, so just like I thought before, I didn't know if there was a separate procedure for the gate, but I said it seems to make sense. We're going through the same 709 procedure that we could just add the gate in to the procedure. And I talked to Dave Rue today. He agreed. So he made just a couple there's like literally a dozen words that have been rearranged, or like Town Highway 2, we just said, I'll put a number in front of it, the number sign, number 2, things like that. So,
So nothing substantive.
nothing substantive.
Okay.
Same,
It's the same procedure of discontinuance, but you're not
not
discontinuing,
discontinuing anything,
obviously.
right?
But I'd like us to get good at this and get to know the routine, because there are a few roads that we do in fact want to
Absolutely.
discontinue as class 4 roads.
So we'll get
And
Yes.
if we could get the experience, it won't seem overwhelming.
No, I think it's
Good point.
You have
Now
to do it
that-
right.
now that I don't have zoning on my plate, this is the kind of stuff I like to deal with. So, yeah, we'll do it. And the site inspection will be, we're just going to view the site, see, see the section of road. We'll probably walk it or drive part of it or whatever you want to do. It's only a mile. You'll see how steep the banks are off the side, the lack of guardrail. You'll notice the elevation,
Anything we can
difference.
document.
anything we can document.
Mhm.
And then as far as the gate, the state did email me back, they're gonna take care of the gate, the installation, and I know Patty had some concerns about the gate, and we'll bring those up and figure out how to deal with that. But when I was going through the researching the landowners, I also made note of how long they've owned the property up there. So most of them are all longtime landowners. So we haven't plowed the thing for 50 years or better, or maybe never. So I don't think, it's really status quo.
It's just sort of codifying what's already in existence.
Already in existence.
Yep.
The gate is the extra little caveat there, and we'll, I think as long as the landowners are assured that, say they've got a logging project, or say they've got some need to get up to their seasonal camp with a snowmobile or something, that they'll be able to do that. Because we cannot deny them access on Class 3 highway.
So does that mean they would have a key for
Well,
that?
we'll have to figure out a procedure. Maybe it'll be like contact the town, and then we'll go up and lock the gate or something, or we'll see what.
He almost said the highway department. Did you see it?
So we'll
Give me your
So
home phone.
we'll figure out those details. But really, we've got, the hearings of more than a month away, but the important thing is a 30-day notification period.
Yeah.
So also no less than 10 days, we have to notify in the paper. So I've got that written down. We'll put it, I've got it scheduled 1st of October to get into the 7 days. And we'll meet up there on Saturday. It shouldn't take more than an hour, and we'll have the hearing on the regular select board meeting.
And there's a consensus or a quorum of board members who are available to make
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And
As long as we
the,
have a quorum for the site.
and just like before, the site visit is not for testimony. It's
Exactly.
just for gathering information, observing, and
Yeah, no testimony.
it's no dialogue. We might make comments about, notice this,
Exactly.
but, we're just collecting information. And then we come back at the time of the testimony, and then we expose all of this and hash it through
Exactly.
with the people who are involved.
Like Dan said, if you see something at the site you'd like to talk about at the hearing, you point that out to everyone. This is what I'll be discussing at the hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Then everybody knows what you're talking about. We'll take photographs,
Uh-huh.
all that sort of thing.
Excellent.
So
So should I read this in? If
I don't
we're
think so. I think you could, go ahead.
So if this is gonna be our procedure for dealing with some class 4 road segments, the process is to read this
I
into
think-
the record. So I'm
I-
gonna go for it.
I think you should.
And then I'll make a motion after I read this into the record. So this
Very
is to be read into the record.
Thank you.
Town of Underhill, notice of examination of premises and public hearing regarding winter maintenance of the northerly portion of Town Highway number 2, a class 3 town highway known as Mountain Road. Pursuant to the requirements of Title 19, Chapter 7 of Vermont statutes annotated, the town of Underhill will conduct an examination of the premises on Saturday, October 18th, 2025 at 1 p.m. The public hearing will take place on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. to consider whether safety considerations for the traveling public and town employees warrant ceasing winter maintenance on the northerly plus or minus 1.1 mile portion of the town highway number 2, Mountain Road, a class 3 highway, which is the portion northerly of the winter parking area. Additionally, the select board will consider the erection of a gate across town highway number 2 to be located near the northerly end of the winter parking area. All interested parties are hereby notified of the following. Number 1, an inspection of the premises at 1 p.m. on Saturday, October 18th on town highway number 2, Mountain Road, to be held at the winter parking area located 1.7 miles northeast of the intersection of Pleasant Valley Road. The portion of the class 3 town highway to be considered may be described as follows. Starting at or near the northern end of the winter parking area, located approximately 1.7 miles up Mountain Road from Pleasant Valley Road, which will be the terminus of winter maintenance and the location of a proposed gate to be erected. The highway will not be maintained during the winter months from the point northerly to the terminus of town highway number 2. The length is approximately 1.1 miles. For the safety of the public, the gate will only be used to prohibit vehicles from accessing the highway during the winter months when the highway will not be maintained. Number 2, a public hearing on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. will be held at the town of Underhill, at the Underhill Town Office located at 12 Pleasant Valley Road, Underhill, as well as virtually using the GoToMeeting virtual platform. The purpose of the hearing is to receive testimony from all persons abutting, owning, or interested in the matter of winter maintenance of the northerly plus or minus 1.1 mile portion of town highway number 2 and the erection of a gate as described above. Persons wishing to comment, provide testimony, or give evidence regarding winter maintenance or the erection of a gate may do so during the hearing or by filing comments in writing prior to the hearing. If after examining the premises and hearing from any and all interested persons, the select board judges that based upon safety considerations for the traveling public and town employees of town of Underhill warrants not maintaining this northerly plus or minus 1.1 mile section of town highway number 2, Mountain Road, and the erection of a gate therein, it will be so ordered. Dated at Underhill, Vermont, this 11th day of September 2025. Read by Patricia Richards, Select Board Vice Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm now going to make a motion. I move the Select Board on its own motion initiate proceedings regarding winter maintenance and the placement of a seasonal gate on the northerly portion of town highway number 2, Mountain Road, in the town of Underhill, pursuant to Title 19, Section 302, paragraphs A, 3B, and to sign the notice of examination and public hearing pursuant to Title 19, Section 709, for an inspection of the premise commencing 1:00 p.m. Saturday, October 18, 2025, followed by a public hearing to be held 12 Pleasant Valley Road in Underhill on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Is there a second?
There's a second.
Shara's got that one. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Should it have anything to do with the dates that it's closed? Should that be,
That'll be in the order.
that's in the order?
Okay. That'll be information. It'll be what comes out of all this. Okay.
Question. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes carry 4-0.
And I would say that that'll depend, we want to keep ourselves open depending on what the winter brings. You know, snow can come in early,
That's true.
really can't define a set date on it.
Mhm.
July 1st.
Okay. You don't have to agree with it.
For the public hearing, is this something we would want or have the town moderator be a part of, or is this just something we would do at the beginning of the select board meeting?
Like Dan says, he's welcome to come if you'd like, but the biggest thing is like a DRB hearing, you say exactly what Dan said. You know, we're not here to take testimony. If you want to
Oh, sorry, not Not
Oh,
the
the
visit
hearing.
approach, yeah,
Hearing.
hearing,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
like I didn't know
I
if
think,
that's.
I think he adds something
He does.
at an official level, and
Mhm.
I
Dan
agree.
does a very good
Yeah.
job.
Yep. Sounds
in,
good.
in
I didn't confer with him first, but hopefully he's available. If he's not, we'll be okay.
Okay,
But that's a great idea.
And we've used him very successfully in
Mhm.
many of these hearings.
he does.
He is good.
So if you just sign that, Patty, the one that's, I think it's got your name on it. I
One
made.
that I just scribbled all over, just kidding.
Isn't that standpoint?
Not up to standard.
You know what, I wondered the same thing and forgot
So
to
it's a
ask.
V-Trans thing. Explain that.
No, that was just.
Okay, let's now move to town administrator, items old and new.
All right. So I included in your packet a full copy of the executed grant, the grants and aid for the 29,000, just to show that I followed up on that. There's a budgeted item, so when we're budgeting for fiscal year 26 last year, I received a estimate for a firewall, which is basically just a box that our internet goes into, and then it just protects us, called a sonic wall, but it protects us against the outside. So crucial to have, and ours was on about 10 years old. So Tech Group recommended changing it. The quote was almost identical to what they quoted me during the budget time, so I had a recommended motion there on the.
So is our, for the budget, is this fully covered by the
Yeah.
budget? Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a motion to authorize the town administrator to sign the firewall hardware quote from Tech Group for $2,735. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Maureen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry 4-0.
So there'll be another big ticket item that we also budgeted for, which is moving from server to the cloud. And that's going to be pretty significant. So I thought I did get a call from Tech Group asking us, when we'd like to think about doing that transition. So I want to talk to everybody in here, see what it entails. Could slow us down for a little bit, but in the end, it'll be worth it. The Butler Road turnaround. So the select board decided last meeting to accept Butler's offer to utilize the existing turnaround on his private property while maintaining the option to construct a new turnaround at the end of the town road or town highway within the right of way where a partial easement will still need to be established on his land. So the next step is I'll have probably have Chris Haggerty or a surveyor that works here. Often Chris does little things for us from time to time, have him just go down and map it. We don't need estimates for that. It's professional service. If he's willing to do it and he can do it quickly, shouldn't be more than a couple hours worth of work. Map it up, and then I can send it off to the attorney for him to draft up an agreement. That'll explain that we're utilizing his turnaround on private property. We'll show that, and then still reserve the right to move it if somehow we needed to do that. The Robson's property. So I contacted Sean Rodtoy. He's the vice president at Ireland, and apparently he's the guy that comes around and looks at things. So I have not connected with him because he was off, but I want to meet with him at the Robson property and get his input and get an estimate for the replacement of that. I'd really like to see the walkway that's going into the house replaced as well. I think it's all an integral part of the whole thing. So it's just going to take a little convincing the homeowner to do that, but I think in the end it'll be a better product. So that's where that is. I did go down to Krebs and Lansing. They're a company that I've worked with in the past. Again, these are professional services again. So the reason I I like working with Scott Homestead is, I've worked with him on the Cambridge project that I did for the town of Cambridge and the village around the school, which Russ has seen. They're excellent. They're very fair. They're excellent engineers and they're very fair compared to some of the other firms. But I did get an email basically with a ballpark figure. He said you're looking around 15,000, which is about what he had said before, but he took a little harder look at it. I went down there with the drawings. I brought the sidewalk study that we had done. I made some suggestions.
And this is just for, was it segment 4 or 5?
This is just to do this up to, not necessarily build the whole thing, but design from Beartown Road to the school.
Okay.
Have that design done, so.
To the central school or the old school
To the
house?
central school.
Okay.
So go all the way to the central school, even though we may not be able to do that portion against the bank, because it's probably going to be a pretty expensive
Yeah.
portion, but make it to the schoolhouse and make it to the central school. So the only, so I said basically 15,000. It's hard for him to estimate these sort of things, but I have an hourly rate sheet here. His time's 150 an hour, and his CAD people or senior technicians are around $100 an hour. He did have some caveats to the pricing. So this is all assuming that we have the topographic survey that we provide to him, which I have, which we paid for. So I can send to him. He wanted the sidewalk route checked for wetlands. And the only piece I can think of is right here before the bridge on the right. But I think what I'd like to do is contact Tina Heath. She's the district coordinator, and get her out here for a jurisdictional opinion. Won't cost us anything. If she said yes, probably should have this delineated, we'll delineate that. I have to do a little surveying to pick up the wetland delineation flags. He did mention the crosswalk locations. Should be reviewed by an expert. He said somebody like Corey Mack from Well Consulting Group or Jen Conley from BHB. They can help determine if a flashing beacon or similar measure is required. And if they are, an electrical design may also be needed. But he wants to have an expert vet it out. He also told me he would clear it through stormwater, Act 250, just to cover all the bases to make sure, you know. So I would recommend that we go with him. I just got this information today, so it wasn't in your packet. But they stick to their word, and he said if they're looking around 15,000, I think that's totally reasonable.
And in terms of bidding, we don't have to bid it out because professional
Service. We could bid it out.
Just
You're going to get
put it on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's professional service, and that's the way we've always kind of done professional services.
And this is
Like
would be covered by ARPA if we move
yeah.
forward.
Okay.
And ARPA dollars we have in the
Yeah.
budget.
Got it.
So we'll see, you know, he has a base topo, get a set of plans, and then it is going to require some small realignment of the road when you go over the bridge. You know, I did tell him that, you know, we don't want anything raised or anything over the bridge. So it should be, you know, flush with we don't want to interfere with any winter maintenance. But delineated enough so people know that's a sidewalk. So I picture some striped thing, you know, kind of across the bridge, maybe with some seasonal delineators that we could put up somehow, just seasonally. Another thing we need another thing we need. Unfortunately, Russ is probably right. But, another thing I just want you to think of too is we're going to have winter maintenance on the sidewalk. So it's another thing to think about. Well, we've got the ARPA money, it's great, but I don't know if our current sidewalk person must load his stuff up and go to Jericho. So I'm assuming he would be willing to maybe load it up and come here for plowing. But that's just something to keep in the back of your head.
Yeah, to build into future budgets and thinking about that
Yeah.
cost.
But we're a long ways from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Do you want a motion tonight, or are you waiting?
Yeah, no, I would, it'd be great. I'd like to pursue, like I said, I just called him immediately with the Cambridge project, and Cambridge was extremely pleased with the way the whole thing went. And
Very good.
So,
Let's take action then.
Yeah,
Can you-
I agree.
Can you read that off, make the motion for me, and then I'll say.
yeah, I would say, just say I move to authorize Brad to engage with Krebs and Lansing at a ballpark estimate of $15,000, subject to wetland review and possible crosswalk designs, which would be additional.
Okay, so moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Maureen. Any discussion?
I am excited about this project moving forward, so this
That's
is
right.
great.
I think that, we don't have to talk about that now, but the plowing and the maintenance, I think it would be welcomed by the people of the town who use it.
So I'm on a committee that's studying traffic safety, trying to prepare a report for the state. And most of these people are all from, the Burlington area, very urban areas. And I'm the only person that's from a rural community. And they asked me kind of, what I thought of the whole thing. And they're talking about rumble strips, and they're talking about 10-foot wide shoulders and multi-use paths and everything else. And I basically said, we just don't have that kind of room. But I do think widening shoulders where we can is a good practice. The state of Vermont does it. Actually, my friend Adam Howard, when he's in the legislature, him and Phil Scott, who's a road biker, passed that legislation. So anytime a state highway is rebuilt, like you've seen 128, Route 15, they've all had wide shoulders.
Yeah.
I talked to Scott about that, and he was a little hesitant about that because, in this group that I'm dealing with, they all talk about green space, right? So you've got the road, you've got a little strip of green space, and then you've got the pedestrians for that safety. But if you've only got so much to work with, it seems like a wider road with a wider shoulder is more of a safe situation than walking in the traveled way. So,
And it will be good to see it in action because the River Road, which sorely needs space to walk and bike,
yeah.
would be a tougher sell. And we need visualization in order for people to say, maybe that's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
This is a start.
And even if you're a vehicle and you have trouble, at least you have someplace to pull off the road. You have literally zero shoulder.
Yeah.
But we don't have the right of way width either, so it's a catch-22.
We need to vote on that motion.
Oh, did you?
No, yeah, this was the discussion.
That was the discussion. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes carried 4-0. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We did.
So Moore Park Pavilion, last time you asked me to try to come up with some estimates of what it would take to finish it, but before we talk about that, I'd just like to, you guys didn't know Ed or Betty Moore. Dan did well. Russ did. I can just say that Ed has dedicated years and years of his life to this town. He did our tax mapping free of charge for years, as he did with 30 other towns,
Wow.
free of charge. The guy was a D-base expert, a GIS expert, way ahead of his time. And he's dedicated a lot of things to this town, and that's why the park is named after him, or the Moore family. So this is kind of how this whole thing came about with, Ed and Betty always had this dream that it'd be nice to have a pavilion. So this is what the Moore family wanted to, you know, give as a legacy for their family. So as I said, they, you know, they paid for the building, they paid for the slab, we did the prep, paid for the electrical work. The last bit to finish is the topsoil and the handicap ramp. Then I can close out the permit. I talked to Anton today. He has plenty of money in his budget. But I would say possibly like maybe split it. You know, I made some recommendations in my report here where the funds could come from, but maybe half could come from the rec committee, half could come from the select board contingency. We're talking basically a little less than, or actually, you could take the whole thing maybe out of the rec budget for the ramp and the labor. But then we've got the cost of topsoil. Russ doesn't want to put cost of topsoil in his budget. So we got the cost of some topsoil. And
Do you have a ballpark figure of the whole?
I don't know what I have the two
Okay.
estimates for, I have the two
Is that in our
estimates in your packet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the two estimates for,
The ramp
yeah,
and
just the materials. I wasn't sure what that
the
cost.
materials were not included.
Right.
So,
For some reason,
I'm
not
think-
seeing it.
It's under the firewall quote. It's like the page after the firewall quote has the two quotes from Nexus.
No, there it is. For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought that was part of the firewall. Thank you.
it's okay.
It doesn't look like.
So I don't know what topsoil sells for. It's probably pretty pricey.
I'm not, what we use is just stuff we've saved, but it's not clean.
It's not clean topsoil. Yeah, so we want something clean. It might take a load and a half, I'm not sure. And maybe a little bit of that SurePack material to finish it off.
My inclination is, sorry,
Go ahead.
is if the rec committee has money in their budget and Anton has expressed that they're willing to have the money come from their budget for this, I'm fine with that. And I think then the cost of whatever materials are needed, I think could probably come from the select board's budget.
Contingency.
Contingency fund, yes.
How about we do this? Have the whole thing come from the rec department budget. If Anton says they have plenty of funds in the budget, let's go ahead and move that. In the event he runs out of funds for another project
Okay,
that they want to do, then we can talk about coming back to the select board to fund that, because we've gobbled up,
fair enough.
and because that way it's budgeted.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
We don't have.
Well, your contingency is budgeted as well. So that's a discretionary fund you get to use from time to time, you know, for things like
Right,
this.
which is what, 10K?
I think it's more like 20 or 15. I'm not sure. I'm not in front of me.
But then we can use, as we get to the end of the budget, if we have
Yeah.
contingency left in select board, rec department wants to go do some stuff,
Right.
we have funds to push that way.
Sure.
Agreed.
What do you tell, how much you talking?
Couple $1,000.
For labor?
Well, the labor was, a little less than 2. Well, that's including the, equipment to move the topsoil around, seed it, and mulch it. So we'll need some mulch and some seed.
But that's part of this Nexus budget? Or-
No, that's
Nexus is-
not including materials.
Right.
So this is labor, equipment and labor.
So it's roughly 2,000 for equipment and labor, and then another,
Whatever it's gonna be for the material, and we'll just
And
pass
just
that
gets us a
along.
couple
Topsoil's
dozen.
probably,
in addition
you got some yards.
to 4K.
You don't think so?
No. But whatever it is, we'll just pass it along to Anton's budget, and we don't have a fixed number. I would just approve the the quotes, and just go from there.
But shouldn't we have an upper end, because I don't want to have some,
It's not gonna be, I guess.
if you don't have an upper end.
Well, why don't you say
have
up to
no-
2 loads of topsoil? Right, 2 tandem loads of topsoil, up to.
But you don't know what that is.
No, I don't.
Let me see if
You have a
I can-
price sheet?
I don't, I was look up Tetris to see if they have the price list. I don't know if they do or not.
But it's like, we often have projects, we don't know what it's gonna cost, right? So, completely. I mean, it's not like,
I think we could, maybe on the upper limits of like not to exceed $5,000 in
Right,
material
exactly,
costs.
that's
Like
what
it's,
I-
there's no way to
exactly
be
what I
that
was
much,
thinking.
but just that
Yeah.
there's like,
Yep.
just that we have
You
just
could do
a
that,
cap
I
on it
guess.
to keep.
but it's really Anton's budget. It is more than $1,000, so,
But that way you know that if it's creeping up to.
right,
They would just have
this
to come back
number,
to the board.
You
to
have,
reassess.
you have a cap.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to report back.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve, the quotes from Nexus, to do the seating, grading, fill, and the walkway. In addition to time and materials not to exceed $5,000 with funds coming from the rec department. Is there a second for the pavilion at Moore Park? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Maureen. Any discussion?
I think this is a great addition to the park and really appreciate more families' commitment to the town. And it's a
And
lovely
then-
space.
Thank you.
with the understanding that if the rec committee runs short, we can,
Yes, they can come back and talk to us about,
okay.
we have the money.
Yes.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes carry 4-0.
The average
Thank you,
price for
Brad.
clean topsoil ranges from $15 to $55 per yard.
15 to 55. So
It's a
we'll see.
range.
No, it's not 15, because it was 20 or 25 when we built the truck in it.
Just got
And we
different.
sold
Well,
topsoil.
we can shop around for towns.
Can we add something to the, on administrative items?
Yeah. Sure.
Existing business. We've talked about this many times and it's not happened for one reason or another. We've done research. Placing a sign
Oh, right.
on the north side of Underhill, finding an appropriate place. We have the sign.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to figure out where we would like it and, get somebody to do it.
You're
What is
saying
this?
on, so it says welcome to Underhill, you see those
So the
signs?
same one that's you pass on the school. You've got another one.
Oh,
We do have the one in the town. I think we have duplicates because I haven't found a mistake. They felt like we made a mistake, we'll just give you another one. So it's there in the hallway.
It's upstairs, yes.
It's upstairs
So,
wow.
and
yeah,
by Jennifer's office. You take a look at it and putting it out there, it's a little awkward having the sign right in the Veterans Park. And by the way,
it's on the Jericho side.
yeah, Randy Clark was quick to let us know, that's in Jericho.
Well, by the time you read it, you've already.
So, but you're kind of going all through this housing, which is in Jericho, and it's called Underhill Flats. And he said, thank you for visiting,
Right.
or welcome to
Welcome
Underhill.
Underhill.
Welcome to Underhill. Where have I been? And if we had that other one, I tried to place it, but I didn't get very far in my negotiations with the Roaring Brook people. I thought coming right there. But we thought that maybe up north a little bit farther.
The north terminus, like,
I have an idea.
Very good.
What about the Silly Hill Route 15 intersection,
That's what we're
which
just
is our
talking
land?
about. We own the land anyway. And we could put it there. We can't really do much with the land.
but I think that's kind of, you're not welcome to Underhill because you've been in Underhill for 5 miles, right?
Yeah, but you see that in other towns, though, where you don't
Cambridge
really.
has got them all on their town boundaries.
So,
So,
Well, whether we have a place, I wasn't raising it to have a big discussion
no,
tonight.
but
But if you
something
put it
on the
on
radar, yeah.
and have time to discuss
Sure.
it. And,
Especially since we already have a sign. Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Let's get it out there.
We do have a sign.
Yeah.
Well, certainly out in the valley at the Tisbury Farm is a no-brainer, right? So we can
Yeah.
put one out there on the town line. If Joe would allow us, set it just off the road there. But it's the 15 one that's the tricky one.
Yeah. I think we have two, don't we?
We do.
Okay.
Right,
Oh,
to go on signage,
we
please.
used one up because we didn't get smashed.
Somebody hit one in front of the central.
Right, but that was a center sign, so we don't need, we got one, the center sign's at the school and Dennis.
We put a new post, wasn't a new sign, no.
No, it was
They
a
had new brackets,
New
brackets
brackets.
and.
no post, yeah. Anyway,
All right, we'll add that to future
yeah, sounds good.
town
That'd be
administrator updates. Okay, excellent. We are on now to closing public comment. Is nobody here? Anybody
I just
virtually?
No one virtually, but Donna, I'll send you a copy of that notice that Patty read, send you a Word document tomorrow, so you have to try and get all that. Sure. There is no one online.
Okay. All right, public comment is closed since there's nobody online. All right, that brings us now to review and approve warrants and minutes. I'm going to make a motion that we approve payroll warrant for check date 9/11 to 9/11/2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those, or any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Those carry 4-0. Send. Next are warrants dated September 11th, 2025. Make a motion to approve the minutes dated September 11th, 2025. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Dan, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes carry 4-0. Next,
Aye.
oh, thank you. Next is another accounts payable for checks. This is for checks dated September 11th, 2025. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Ayes carried 4-0. We have another accounts payable dated August 1st to August 31st. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? It's carried 4-0. And we have minutes dated August 28th, 2025. Looks like everybody was in attendance. Motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of the minutes for August 28th, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes carry 4-0. Oops, sorry.
There's a clean copy there, yeah.
I think
Do
just
I have Bob's in this?
No, usually sign.
Since we passed it here.
Just real- To Brad. That's all of our things that we need signed.
Okay.
Okay. The next is member items, correspondence, announcements, and schedule. Are there any member items or correspondence?
I included correspondence in your, it's basically the radio wave monitoring on top of Mansfield. Everything looks normal, I guess. So that's in your packet. And then I passed around the historic marker dedication ceremony that's going to be this Saturday.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
So that's at 10 a.m. Seen it?
I'm sorry.
Russ has seen it. So that's at 10. I'm gonna go attend.
I'm going to try to attend. I'm on call Saturday morning, but
Yeah.
hopefully I can be there.
Yeah.
I will not be able to attend,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
I will be out of town.
same.
I'll be there to represent the town.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very much.
I'm going to Spain. I
Spain?
don't know, you guys always go somewhere.
Well, I'm going to Croatia soon.
Well, there you go. Where is that? Heard of it.
It's Eastern Europe.
That's Pierce's soccer team this year. They're all different countries. So he's
Oh,
playing
nice.
Team Croatia
Very
this
nice.
season, yes.
So the Adriatic Sea borders Italy on the east side. The country on the other side of the sea is Croatia.
Wow.
Very Mediterranean.
It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
used to be parts of it used to be Yugoslavia. Yeah.
Meeting my daughter over there, who's on a 3-month traveling across Europe.
Well,
For her.
that'll be exciting.
Nice.
Okay, so next meeting is September 25th.
I will not be present.
I'll be in the midst of our harvest market prep work.
Okay.
Right. Mhm.
I will be here,
And I will be here.
so as long as Bob is here, we can have a meeting.
Oh, I'll be here.
Oh, you will?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just gonna be like that week. It's just all harvest
busy.
market all the time.
Good,
So.
good. Anything else, announcements? to be made?
It's like I'm forgetting something, but dedication, that was it.
All right, we have one item, which is an
Oh,
executive session.
the one thing I wanted to check was the ethics training. Dan, did you have any luck today? Did she
Oh,
reach out?
I forgot to look.
She reached out to you.
Oh, she did?
She said she was going to reach out this morning to you
Okay.
individually.
Okay, I had
And didn't
had a day
Dan
and
didn't get his,
was not able to,
okay.
have not checked my town email.
And she didn't have record of you taking it, so. But I've got everybody else's, I think.
I'm glad you said look in the junk folder. 'cause
Yeah,
it was
I-
there.
yeah.
First place I went.
That's-
There it is.
There it is.
That's what happened to me also, yeah.
So I didn't think I had to take it, but apparently I do. So,
Well, I will run it through again.
Hmm.
run it through and jump in the shower or something. Well, he's already seen it once.
You take the little quiz at the end?
No, there's no quiz.
Yeah, there
There's a
is.
little quiz at the
There's a
end.
little quiz at the end.
Oh, there
That's why
is.
you did.
Yeah.
I was looking for the quiz.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe that's
it's
it.
it's kind of on a different tab.
Very
If you have it up, or at the end, I'll,
Okay,
Oh, maybe you could finish it out.
I might be able to do that.
Cool.
Okay.
Dan, that's exactly what happened to me. I watched it, I thought I was done, and then I went into my email to look for my certificate, and then I couldn't find it, and then I realized that there was a different tab
I
to
thought
take
it was
it.
odd that there wasn't a quiz.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a short little thing, yeah.
and then at the end of that, you can enter your email and Brad's email,
Yep.
so it just gets.
How many times do you get to take the quiz?
It's very easy. It won't let you advance until you answer it properly.
There's two
How many-
questions.
two questions. How many times you get?
I don't know, you can't
will
progress,
pass.
yeah.
I guarantee you will
Yeah.
pass.
Okay, good.
You don't even have to.
Dan's
watch the
scared.
If
video.
you, Dan, if you fail this, all eyes are on you.
Is it that time?
It is. No. We have an executive session.
Oh, executive session. You're right.
We have one executive session. I'm gonna make a motion. I move that the select board I make a motion to go into executive session under 1 VSA 313A1E, pending or probable civil litigation or prosecution in which the public body is or may be a party. The motion is I move the select board makes a finding that premature general public knowledge regarding possible prosecution of an ordinance violation would clearly place the public body at a substantial disadvantage, as it will disclose the select board's deliberations regarding enforcement of litigation strategy and priorities in the negotiation related thereto. That is the first motion. We take these separately, right? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. I'm going to give that to Maureen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 4-0. The second motion is I move that the select board enter executive session to discuss possible prosecution of a nuisance ordinance violation on Park Road. Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 4-0. We'll have Brad go into executive session with us.
I'm going.
Us. You can go.
Get
ahead.
Good night.
All right.
Good to see you. Take care.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Russ.
Aaron. Thanks. Here we go.
This conference will now be recorded.
Do we have to make a motion to come out of executive? So I make a motion, we come out of executive session. Is
I'll
there a
second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 4-0. I'm going to make a motion relative to our discussion in executive session. That a nuisance order complaint has been addressed by the select board, and the select board has corresponded with the alleged nuisance ordinance offender. The issue has been resolved. There is no follow-up with the complainant as it was filed anonymously. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Carries 4-0. Case closed.
All right.
Thank you very much, Shara, for all your
Oh, sure.
hand-holding on that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Excellent. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry 4-0.